Hello and welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to ESL One Hamburg. We're here taking a look at ViCi versus paiN Gaming, and we're going to be seeing some of the replays from game number 1. Again, joined by Lacoste, Baseskip. My mans, how you doing? How you feel about that match, Baseskip, as watching on the side?
I feel like in terms of like what we were saying, how the game was going to play out after the draft, there were some beats there that were similar, but also I think paiN doing maybe a little bit better than expected, really capitalizing on a couple of really crucial ViCi mistakes here and there. Though I think the big thing for me was looking at it like around this 25-minute mark, ViCi still had all of their tier 2 towers standing, and a lot of the fights that they'd lost were kind of just random 4v5s while the Phantom Lancer was farming. So I think for them it mostly went as expected, and then they really botched that high ground defense, which cost them a lot.
If somehow they managed to lose one of those heroes who bought back here, they probably could have lost the game. Maybe.
Yeah, they were lucky that they had so many
hero wipe after.
Yeah, they were lucky that they had all of that gold and all of those resources to be able to throw into that high ground defense. Because otherwise, that would have been a full side of racks, and then paiN come back. They finished the shrines. paiN really messed up after that as well, though. They kind of lost that fight. The DK was still dead for like 50 seconds, but they're trying to defend the bottom tier 1 tower, so they lose 2 more heroes, and then they lose the tier 2, and then they lose another hero. There were just some really unnecessary deaths as paiN kind of had to shift from being on the front foot the whole game, and then all of a sudden they found themselves on the back foot for like 40 seconds and just didn't know what to do.
The huge deal in this game was Necro's ulti, the extra death timer, which sets back paiN's gaming lineup a lot. They can't push, they can't group as 5, and that's what they want. Also, I gotta give credit to Weaver. She was creep skipping a lot, just trying to drag this as much as possible, because they know that the late game is theirs. This Dragonite can't really control 4 heroes.
And it felt like they were playing that way, like with Weaver Ags the entire time, even though they didn't have it. Like Necro was just standing out there saying, "Come fight me," and they would get that kill, but then that still wouldn't be enough for them to take down the buildings afterwards.
They almost lost the game because Weaver was in a really bad position, and also Necro felt like he was unkillable, but was actually not. With the Hood Vanguard build, actually Hood/Crimson Guard, they could still take him down.
And I don't want to give away too much, but for anybody out there that's worried about spoilers, plug your ears for a second. All right, good. We gave you enough time. So on the other series, EG is up right now 1-0 over Secret, which is kind of an interesting little result. We saw a Gyrocopter IO coming out from EG. And then on the other side, it was a Luna draft. You guys were talking about that earlier. And then also an Earthshaker AA. Kind of an interesting combination. And on the other side, Alliance was able to take down Mineski. And they were running with a Broodmother strat against like Enigma, Ember, TA. So kind of an interesting little beginning to the day so far. I think that the only one that's maybe a little bit surprising would be Alliance over Mineski, although you've been saying that this is a team that's kind of been struggling.
They're just a shambles at the moment, really. I think the big thing as well is that these teams where Mushi is position 5 sometimes just struggle to kind of find their footing. Not that Mushi is a bad position 5 player, but I think he really has a ton of influence over the way that his other cores play the game, and so that can cause some problems. But we do have a ViCi versus paiN draft ready, so
let's do it.
Focus on that.
Hopping into game number 2, and we can see that, as you talked about, the Necrophos banned out. We don't want to see him anymore. Get out of the game.
Yeah, I mean, even though they dealt with him really well through the mid game and kept bursting him down, he owned the laning stage. Like they couldn't really pressure him. He got left alone versus the Pangolier. He got a lot of early farm, and that worked out really, really well. Even though he died a whole bunch, I feel like the start that he had bought them like 10 minutes of gameplay for Phantom Lancer to just farm, right? He was there, he was standing in front of the towers, holding on to them. Sure, he died a whole bunch, but that was the springboard that ViCi really needed to say, okay, Paparazzi, you just go hit creeps for 25 minutes, come back when you're ready to win us the game. And they kind of came back and took a few weird fights that I think they didn't necessarily need to, but the Necrophos was still pretty instrumental for their gameplay. And you guys were talking about the Reaper Scythe just being mega annoying.
But Necro is the hero that you want to have alive in the team fights as much as possible, because the overtime damage from the aura. I would love to see the damage dealt from aura. I don't think we can have that.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Because you can't see the damage, how much damage he dealt with the aura. Probably going to be some insane numbers.
Yeah, you don't really think about it, but it's just slow. You're like a hero that normally you think of yourself as tanky and you're just slowly over the course of the team fight, your HP bar is just dropping and dropping. you're this Dragon Knight who's thinking, oh, I've got Dragon's Blood, I'm set, but it's kind of being offset by the...
Well, and he didn't end up going for the talent too, which was the other thing that was kind of interesting about it. He went for the GPM to try and max out his...
Pretty normal. He needs the scale. Dragon Knight is one of the heroes who has level 20 talent. I don't know if anyone else has a GPM talent on 20.
There's a couple heroes. I think most of them are supports, though.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to go back for the Weaver again. ViCi Gaming feeling like this is their hero. And there is the option to switch it over into that position 4, like we saw in the last game. And Phoenix, the one that you guys were also talking about.
They should get Mirana or something that deals well with the Phoenix Egg. Nyx Assassin is a really good bug against the bug. You have Carapace, so whenever
it really bugs him.
Yeah, it really bugs him. That's well said.
He's good against both these heroes.
Yes, the overtime damage, pretty easy to use Carapace. But I always feel you need to have these big attack speed heroes that can deal with the egg. Also, ViCi Gaming doesn't have yet a hero to protect the egg, so they need to... If you want to win a team fight, Phoenix is the hero that's going to win you a team fight, the Roche fight, but you need someone to protect the egg.
Well, and so the thing that we've occasionally seen has been like a centaur just to stomp right on top of it, a tree. The other one that we saw recently was Axe being picked fairly consistently, or like an Ember in the position 2 role. The other thing that was also mentioned as an answer was an Ogre, for the Bloodlust, to be able to deal with the egg. It's a little bit hard to fit into this draft because there's a Nyx, but I think that you could have Tavo playing Nyx Assassin here, just you know, have King RD run up to that position. It might depend upon what the core comes out, though, from ViCi. It's one that needs to be good against, or rather that Nyx is good against.
Yeah. So Axe is out, as you mentioned. Good way, the AoE stun to protect the egg. Also, they have Winter Wyvern, Nyx Assassin as an opener. So once they get to level 10, the GPM talent, these heroes are just going to scale. The GPM talents on level 10 are ridiculously strong.
So I do wonder about paiN's laning stage a little bit now that they've picked up the Nyx Assassin. Like, not necessarily a super strong laning hero, whether he's position 3 or position 4. So I think that's going to end up being something that ViCi can maybe exploit a little bit, because they've got 2 very strong laning heroes at the moment in the Weaver and the Phoenix. So definitely something that paiN are going to have to be aware of. Though we also felt like they were going to lose the lanes in the previous game, and then, you know, still that kind of happened, and they still managed to bring it back through the mid game. So maybe they're not too worried.
Which is impressive too, the fact that like so much of the game feels like it's about the laning stage nowadays, but they were able to lose them and still make so much happen.
Yeah, I think a big thing about this patch is the extent to which you lose your lanes. Like you can lose a lane in terms of farm, but so long as you're not getting completely zoned out and the enemy hero isn't just getting every deny, then you're kind of okay. And then so long as your mid-game matchups are potentially better, I think that's what we're seeing a lot of, especially pubs, but it's also happening in the pro scene, is that people are starting to try and be a little bit greedier with these hero matchups. Like I think in the Immortal bracket at the moment, Anti-Mage actually has a pretty solid win rate, despite being like maybe a slightly abusable laning hero, because people are picking like, you know, Zeus and Lesh and stuff like that, and you're just getting that late anti-mage pick in. Even though you're not necessarily winning the lane, the hero matchup is strong enough that you're still able to sort of sneak some of these heroes in. And people are trying to add more and more team fight to the draft everywhere that they can. I feel like that's a big reason why we're seeing so much Phoenix, so much Winter Wyvern. Warlock is a hero that in the pub scene is starting to come back a little bit, but pro scene, not just yet.
Non-existent in the pro scene. Like, you can see him from time to time. Someone decides to pick a Warlock, but most of the time there is a Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit, and just you can't do anything about it. You're the first one who's gonna die. So
Magnus is an interesting ban.
I think paiN Gaming played it during the qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I'm thinking about Pugna is a real good counter to Winter Wyvern. With the Decrepify, Etherlands, you need to use ulti on Pugna. But the problem is Nyx Assassin with Mana Burn. Pugna is one of the, if not the best hero in terms of highest intelligence in the game. I think he actually has.
He has the highest ink growth.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's like over 3 or something. So
look at this now. Well, anything you can do, I can do better. They're going to take the lion for themselves, which I feel like is sort of protecting the egg out of the support position.
A little bit, yeah. Especially if you, I mean, it's a long way off, but you get the level 25 talent, you get the AoE hex, and things get pretty scary. But I think Lion's just a solid support right now.
Yeah, so that's the counter to Phoenix Egg, the attack speed hero. They might pick one more. Lina with the Fiery Soul. Most of the time when Phoenix is in, you want to ban it out. But so they might swap things around. If you pick Lina this early, it opens up the matchup Lina against TA, even though I heard recently that TA can lose to Lina if Lina does well first 3 creep waves, if she has a lot of denies and plays aggressive, but most of the time, TA just stomps you.
And the thing that's really interesting about this that I've seen, and the problem, like more often than not, people have been picking Mirana to deal with the egg, right? Like that's been the go-to because you can leap in and get close and all that stuff and, you know, attack speed, whatever. The reason they've been taking that over Lina is because she's more survivable. Built-in, like, you know, survivability and a leap to get out of the fights. Lina just can get blown up, particularly if you find something like a Shadow Blade initiation from a DK or a Blink Dagger initiation from a DK or Lion jumping on top of you or any of these heroes. Like, I feel like this hero can be very susceptible to getting blown up at the start of a fight.
The Lina's less reliable as well. Like, Mirana has both the positioning and the attack speed buff comes up instantly from the leap. If you're a Lina who's sitting there before the fight and you've maybe popped 1 stun before you Shadow Bladed to get your stack up, like, and you're just popping out of Shadow Blade to try and hit the egg as soon as it happens, you might not even take it down. So it's much more reliable, I think, to take the...
So Dragon Knight is the hero that barely loses a matchup. I'm talking about 1 versus 1. Against Invoker, it could go... once he gets this, I hope it's going to be a Spirit Vessel Invoker.
Yeah.
He could go for Quas Vex, even though he goes for a couple of points, 2 points in Exort.
Just it's like the Abed build, kind of.
So he can have enough damage to last hit because Quas Vex fully doesn't allow you to last hit.
Well, and this pushes Lina to... I've been seeing some sideline, offlane Lina.
It's either 3 or 4 Lina.
Yeah. There's a decent amount of setup for the Sunstrike as well this game, so I think it's worth it to get those, like you're saying, 3 points maybe early in the Exort, both for the last hitting and for the fact that they've got this Sunstrike set up. Even just helping out the Nyx Assassin a little bit, like if having 3 or 4 points in Exort means that the Nyx Assassin, once he gets level 6, he can run around, maybe find kills on the Weaver, maybe find kills on the Lion that otherwise he wouldn't be able to get. But this Invoker pick is really interesting because I think it also kind of... I've seen the Invoker versus Lina matchup quite a bit mid recently, and the Quas Vex Invoker actually just dumps on Lina. Like, she does okay in the early levels and stuff and harasses him back, but once Invoker gets his levels, Lina can't do anything against...
the damage from Lina. Also, I wanted to mention Void before the game, that it could be contested. There's a huge difference how teams pick in different regions. Void is such a weak laner, doesn't do pretty much anything, but with all these team fight, the setup from Winter Wyvern, Invoker, there's a lot of combo potential, a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, I really think that's what that's the line that people are towing at the moment, is trying to balance the laning stage versus the greed of wanting to have more and more team fight. And if you fall on the wrong side of that line, then you could win the lanes but then lose the team fights. But if you go too far on the other, then you just completely get destroyed in the lanes and your team fight never gets an opportunity to come online. So people are still kind of figuring that out.
Okay, so there's an answer for your egg.
I don't like this. I think Troll is just... Their lineup is really slow now. Troll needs a long time to farm and really come online, and they're very squishy on the whole. They don't really have anybody to frontline for them. Maybe the Lina or the Invoker can kind of go scouting a little bit, the same thing with the Nyx Assassin, but there's nobody that really survives that well against the burst from ViCi. They have a little bit of save from the Winter Wyvern, maybe.
They have a good disengage with Invoker and Winter Wyvern plus Carapace. They are squishy in terms of HP, but they can fight. If they fight properly, these fights could last for so long.
A strange last pick from paiN Gaming, and ViCi now looking for their answer. Still a lot of flexibility in their draft. We saw Weaver support earlier. Seems unlikely now, but there is still the potential to take like a position 1 here, a position 3 here. Weaver against Troll feels kind of strange. I don't know who necessarily comes out on top of that one.
Yeah, I don't know if they want the Weaver as their position 1 here. I think they're actually going to pick another hard farmer. Like, I think this is still going to end up being like the game-winning hero in this spot. I don't know what exactly that is. The Morphling's already gone. Terrorblade doesn't look great. Okay.
All right, let's just do it again.
Yeah, just do Phantom Lancer. It's kind of fine. I don't know if they'll try and put the PL against the Invoker.
Invoker doesn't lose that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore since Poor-Man's Shield is out. Yeah. Like, you just dumpster the Invoker. He can't do anything because he didn't deal the right-click damage to you.
Yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a draft. And with that, we're going to take a look again at the Mercedes MVP player of the game. Let's take a look. And again, if you want to, you can vote there online for who you feel like the MVP of the match is going to be, who the MVP of the whole tournament is going to be. Might be a little bit early to figure that out since we're just in the first game. But yeah, ViCi versus paiN Gaming off the back of a PL take-in as well as the Troll Warlord. I mean, do you feel like they got the right answers, ViCi Gaming, before you have to head out of here, Baseskip?
I like paiN's draft more than the draft that they had the previous game, but I still prefer ViCi's overall. I think they've got the... They got the right scaling, they got the right laning. Definitely favoring ViCi.
Cost?
I'm just thinking about this Thrall pick. You're kind of forced to go for Battle Fury build, and I've seen one of the games recently with Thrall. He just falls off. You get 6 slotted so fast when you have a good timing on a Battle Fury. You don't know what you want to get rid of in your inventory. That's the big problem of a hero. If game drags, you're still... It just doesn't feel like that position 1 hero who can scale well with items.
Yeah.
It's a very strange hero. Sometimes you want the blink, sometimes you want the Asha, sometimes you want
to break someone, everything. You need some AoE, you need Satanic, you want to sell your boots, SNY, you want to get, let's say, the item to break the items.
The item to break the items. And it's not just the right clicks.
Yes.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hop into this game. Again, game number 2 in the group stages, ViCi versus paiN. Paparazzi heading out to his lane as the all chat is going to commence. We got some good all chat, some spiciness out of them in the last game. Cost, do you think we're going to see more of the same?
I mean, it's South American Dota plus a misery. So, especially if they start winning Sunstrike.
Hey-o. It is a bit of a strange one. We got a little bit of all chat, though, even from ViCi in the last game. Mr. DY was doing it up.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but he wanted to spice things up. Like hee-hee.
Hee-hee, yeah. GG. I think it's actually
another
Sunstrike.
Now Invoker needs to go back to the lane and start blocking. We see more and more teams just not fighting near the runes. So pretty much Dire gets the Radiant one and the Dire one.
Lots of tips going out every way as well. We saw DY tipping Weeha. We'll see if they decide to give him some special treatment there in the mid lane or if it's just going to be the straight up 1v1 like we've seen, as Troll Warlord has some spirits on him, but they are doing a lot of damage here onto Fade. Tavo picks up 1 bounty rune, paiN with 2 apiece so far. And it looks like they'll be able to secure 3 of them.
That's a big deal for laning stage. You can buy Magic Stick right away near the side shop when you pick up 3 runes. Or if you're Paparazzi and you're saving money, then you just buy Magic Stick right away.
Do you go Magic Stick or Quelling Blade? Magic Stick. I always get the Quelling Blade because I can't last hit. That's the secret. But yeah, DK versus Invoker, you mentioned earlier that it's one of those matchups that kind of can go really even. It never feels like DK loses a lane super hard, unless it's something like a Tiny, and even then he can sometimes get last hits.
Nah, DK is one of the few heroes who never loses the lane.
Whoa, DY. That was a blind LSA hits onto him, and then they follow it up with the Impale. If you hit one of those stuns, the second one will likely land on either of these heroes.
The problem for top lane, Misery was kind of forced to use Arctic Burn level 1. You don't want to use that spell to fight for rune. The Splinter Blast level 1 is so much better. You have 100 damage on 2 targets plus 4 duration of slow. 4 seconds duration, yes.
That was a nice play right there also. Do you see that? Misery drops down the sentry so that way they can hit Yang as he comes in and then they chase him down a little bit. So bring him down fairly low. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate there that they can't just get the spam out consistently with the Arctic Burn, or rather the Splinter Blast. But they will start laying into Fade a little bit, and he actually doesn't have a way out of this. Almost into the Sunstrike.
Does not connect. Oh, so close. Like, if you look at the levels, he needed 1 creep to get to level 2. Now, both of the supports feel so much stronger. Also, when Weaver gets level 3, I almost said 6, there's going to be a ton of potential if he gets point in the Swarm, but he has no mangoes in this lane, which means that he's probably going to skip it.
Well, you talked a little bit about, or we have talked a little bit about those matchups as they get the deny there. Nicely played by Yang, but the CS is really feeling like it's pretty heavily into the favor of the DK. 15 and 6 right now versus the 8 and 3.
That's a Dragonite right there. 2 points in Dragon Blood. Doesn't need Breathe Fire because he's low on mana, building towards Soul Ring. Also, more and more you're gonna see mid laners, those who are strength, are gonna get Bracer level. I mean, just a casual Bracer for the tankiness.
And in the meantime, Tavo able to find first blood, and Paparazzi taking a beating as well. Lots of damage out into him. They throw the Spike Carapace, thought that Spirit Vested Blade might have been going on to him, and they able to find the LSA again. The Illusion's trying to chase him down. They have another Mako Pop with the damage coming through. Paparazzi finds one. Can he get a second? Trying to find the kill, and it will be there. A double for Big Papa.
I think Lina missed the Dragon Slave.
Yeah, that ain't good.
That's pretty huge. Okay, so a lot of action happening on top. Weaver decided to go for the Swarm, which gives them more kill potential. Barely had mana for it. So nicely calculated there.
And suddenly it's 4-1, 1,000 gold lead, 3.5 minutes in. Not the biggest thing in the world, but still not great. They were sort of skulking into position also with that Lion. Laid down a ward in the mid lane. And then decide to back out as Yang just trying to make a life for himself over here. Fade pops his stick charges to stay alive. And Yang with Sakuchi back up is going to be able to get out.
If you think about Troll is actually really strong in the lane. The harassment, the securing the range creep with the axis. Was he trying to suicide on the creep camp and just died to Misery? Like, because that's really popular thing right now. You use all your HP and mana and just try to suicide on neutrals. Or just suicide on the creeps.
Oh, in the meantime, I'm not sure. It could have been. As King R ends up going down. Paparazzi finds that kill. They also have themselves the Nyx Assassin under fire. I mean, talk to me a little bit about this Nyx Assassin position 3, because it's a bit of a departure from what we've seen on this hero more often than not.
I mean, he has a lot of regen early on. Look at him, 7.1, one of the highest HP regen. I mean, he still has 3 mangoes, but I guess...
Almost came the kill up there top, Yang. Sorry to cut you off there, that was sick.
I guess the reason why they picked it, they want to have someone who scales against this overtime damage. Also, pretty nice setup with the Sunstrike. Is Invoker actually going for just the Quas Exort build for now? Yeah.
It is a little bit the departure from what we've seen more often than not. Obviously can still get a lot of regen coming in from the Quas, but you're not going to out-regen a DK who has popped his dragon form and now thinking about just pummeling into Weeha. But the movement in now from the Phoenix. They find themselves Weeha. They drop down the Sentry Ward. They have vision, but King R trying to protect his buddy, or rather Misery trying to protect his buddy, and is going to be able to punch into Fate now. He looks like he's going to end up dying, so Weeha just gets a free kill. Why not?
Dragonite is out of mana.
And the cold snap there, the punch is coming, but it's not quite enough. And with the turnaround, moving into position is going to be DY. A double damage room. Ori almost dead, but can't quite find the kill. They will get it with the Lion instead, and no mana for Sunstrike.
Luckily, double damage for Lion. He also missed one hit attack creep instead of Winter Wyvern. So how's top lane doing? Yang picked up a bottle. He wants to have that mana regen. Also runes, 1, 2. There's 4 runes for ViCi Gaming. So
and they managed to find the kill mid on Weeha with the rotation from Fade again. Putting a lot of emphasis on this Invoker. They know that this is the guy that, you know, can sort of carry them in the later stages of the game. As King R again isolated, they doppelganger away. The Impale is not going to connect onto the real PL as they chase down King R, give him the punch. Tavo getting his mana drained. And yeah, none of these lanes are really going the way that paiN Gaming want them to.
This is not the start that you want to give to Phantom Lancer. He is level 6. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets Hood as a first item, just to tank things up.
And just extra survivability. I mean, Tavo, he hits a nice timing with his level 6, but where do you really gank? Like, are you going to try and just bring somebody else to his lane, maybe? Seems strange.
They have a Sunstrike, so only thing they need to do is buy some blue wards, as I like to call them. Like, blue wards are so good right now. They last for 6 minutes, so it's pretty hard to use the observer wards. Even if you place sentry ward and you don't get anything from it, they still might place an observer in the next 6 minutes.
Right. Just one of the benefits of, you know, the buff that they received. You can see, though, that it is a 3,000 gold lead, and it's all the cores right now on top from ViCi. Very similar to what we saw previously. Weeha, able to go invis as the stun come out. Good reaction time there to deal with the Dragon Knight as Impale cancels the cask, and Paparazzi being... Oh, Kenny doesn't manage to quite find the real Paparazzi, and they're moving into position with Fade too. Tavo is dead. This lane has just been tragic. Are they going to be able to find... Oh, you can't get Misery here, surely.
Now, this is just not going well for paiN Gaming right now. Phantom Lancer, level 7, power threads ready.
Weeha trying to stay alive, but it's not happening. And Ori just dives under the tower. They can't find the kill, and Yang gives the tip after the fact. Misery moves into position now, and Ori can maybe find that kill too. Ori is double kill there. Tavo popped his spike parries, doesn't manage to find the stun. Ori is going to keep on running. He does not care about anything. Tavo might be dead also. Draining the mana, looking for the kill. Spike carapace is going to be off cooldown in about 6 seconds, but Tavo is dead also. Now King RD trying to run away. Ori said, come deal with me, and they had no answer.
5,000 net worth lead, 9 minutes in. They're just steeping, trying to help Invoker, but Dragon Knight, man, he has a Soul Ring magic wand, which means he's always gonna have mana, and they have no escape mechanism whatsoever. They need this troll to farm up. They need to use Nyx Assassin. The problem is he's not level 6 yet. He's level 5.5, almost 10 minutes in. That doesn't look good.
I mean, it's 63 CS for the DK and 15 denies. Guy is just dismantling people. And you need to find an answer. It's going to be a second tier 1 tower taken down at just about the 10-minute mark if Yang wants it. But he doesn't have to go for it either. He can be comfortable. He has another Gloves of Haste queued up right now. Not really sure what that's about. But nonetheless, 13-3, 7,000 gold lead. Man, oh man.
They also lost the top tower. It's just not looking good for paiN Gaming right now. Nyx Assassin hit level 6. He's on the hunt. He wants to make something happen.
You got to find a kill. It just has to happen.
Ideally, you would want to kill a Phantom Lancer or a Weaver who are super farmed, but if they can just find a kill, there's a sentry ward. They are prepared.
I mean, they knew. As soon as he leaves the lane, he has level 6. What are you going to do? You're going to go try and kill somebody.
That's the problem with heroes like Nyx Assassin, let's say a Clockwork when he was being played as position 3. If you're missing from your lane, he's probably not doing anything else besides trying to gank.
Mid lane, right now, they're thinking about going in, and Ori has popped his level 6, so they're going to pressure this tower and just see if they can, you know, take down the last remaining tier 1 tower at 11 minutes.
So Phantom Lancer actually went for Hood as a first item, just to tank it up so he can't die, because if he dies, he's going to feed away a lot of gold. 5-0 streak.
And with this catapult and another creep wave coming in, they're going to try and Sunstrike DY. Doesn't quite move into position to get him and is going to taunt after the fact. Just rubbing salt in the wounds of paiN Gaming as Yang moves into position. King RD not going to be able to hit onto that stun. Tavo is here, maybe an opportunity if they can bring enough people in, but they had the Sentry Ward that was already in position. They see Tavo, gonna find him, get the kill onto that Nyx Assassin. That is not the level 6 gank that you wanted. Yang now coming out of Sakuchi. Doesn't have enough mana for time lapse. We'll have another Sakuchi as he jumps to the side, finds King RD. And guess what? Your tower is dead.
And they're still farming with 2 heroes. Phoenix has a free lane for himself. On the bottom lane, you have a Phantom Lancer, Dragon Knight with the full Shadow Blade. 12 minutes in. Oh my god, this is not looking good for paiN.
I mean, they haven't had to use the egg. They haven't had to use anything.
They still have a finger and egg.
If you do take a fight in a bad position, though, and this is something that we've seen time again, Dota 2 has the comeback mechanic ready to go. But it does feel like it's kind of predicated upon ViCi just being out of position and not playing it right. DY finds the Hex. There's going to be the follow-up. Yang moves into position. DY is going to die. Virtue of King RD, but there's going to be the Cold Embrace, or Winter's Curse, rather. So another way to keep their buddies alive goes for the Supernova, the runaway. Yang still looking, seeing if he can chase and find that kill. That is going to be a dead Weaver. All of a sudden gone. Troll doesn't have an answer.
Oh. Man, Troll is so greedy, trying to go in with his ulti to pop on the egg. DK just stunned him. That's a triple kill for Lina.
They haven't been able to find a couple. Weehaw just walks into Ori. He's gone. And maybe King RD can make something else happen here if they dive too deep.
What is happening in this game? 13 minutes in, we have people diving tier 3 towers. That's a huge amount of gold for Lina. But it's still a position for Lina. No points in Fire Assault. He needs to have one, even in the laning stage. If you use the combo, you're going to deal more damage with just right clicks than with your spells. And it's also extremely good against Egg. Troll on the mid lane, he just died.
I mean, he's not having a great time with himself.
Yeah, he's not having a great time, and he's forced to buy different items than Battle Fury because his early laning stage was not good.
So how about this, though? So it's not looking good for paiN right now. But last game, it was not looking good for paiN because of the threat of ViCi late game. This game, it feels like they can at least sort of compete if they go later, in some fashion at least.
It doesn't look good either for the late game in this game. You have a Phantom Lancer again, you have a Dragon Knight on enemy team, and you have a Phoenix, one of the better scaling position 4 heroes, plus a Weaver.
Oh, Hex out. Found themselves one. Invoker getting brought his treads. Weeha has always had interesting itemization ideas on this hero. Was known earlier for going for the Vanguard build on Invoker, but
nothing interesting here besides him being underfarmed in this game, so he needs to get that Aghanim Scepter up.
Uh-oh. Poor old Tavo. We'll throw out another stun to save his life. Lina helping out a buddy, but it's up top where they're going to lose a very important hero. Troll Warlord gone, and Paparazzi just showing no regard for the life of that troll. 18-6, 11,000 net worth lead at 15 minutes.
This Dragon Knight is causing so much problem with the Shadow Blade, which means both supports will need to invest a lot in sentries. Also, you're playing against Weaver, who has invisibility as well. Dragon Knight, sorry, Phantom Lancer.
Well, this could be an opening for them, but the doppelganger, okay, nice stun onto one. They get the kill. Paparazzi goes down. A lot of gold into the hands. The Invoker, but look at that breathe fire through. And they are going to be able to find a kill onto King RD as well. Misery need to run out of there. But paiN find themselves at least a little something. As Misery is going to die, a slow death of the Ice Bird. Triple kill for Yang.
They killed the Phantom Lancer and the Lion, who got the last hit on Phantom Lancer. So that's the best hero that could get the last hit, which is going to get them closer to Aghanim Scepter, still far away from it. They need to use a good Winter Wyvern ulti into stun. 2-3 men LSA or Impale.
Yeah, we've seen how strong that combination can be, but it does require I think a pretty big misplay by the enemy team.
It's hard. It's going to be really hard for Misery to use a good ult in this game. You have Weaver, you have Dragon Knight with Shadowblade, mobile heroes, Phoenix as well. Phantom Lancer can easily dodge stuff with Doppelganger.
Oh, DK just got Blink too.
He wants to be able to just go on Winter Wyvern and kill him before he can use any spells.
Troll just now finishing off his Yasha. So still a very, very broke position 1 hero, but it is their most farmed hero in the game right now. Did not decide to go for that Battle Fury build like you were talking about, which, you know, could come back.
He might get it after a BKB.
Yeah.
It's still viable because they need something to deal with the Phantom Lancer. Once Phantom Lancer gets hard, like there's no burst damage that they can take him down with.
We see paiN Gaming move into the bottom lane there as they just leave the Troll Warlord alone to farm, and this is going to be an initiation onto the Phoenix. Sunstrike to follow. Oh no!
They didn't time it right.
Oh, it needs to be perfect because you can just spam that stun, but yeah, it is a kill there, and with losing their Lina, now jumping forward with the blink. Oh man, paiN Gaming just losing absolutely everybody, and with the Sunray going out, a double kill for Ori. When it rains, it pours. paiN Gaming not getting what they want.
They're pressuring other lanes as well. They're gonna find Troll, Bash. Where's the Bash?
Oh, not quite there. Tavo's in the area also. They could maybe find a kill here onto DY. And it looks like that was not what you wanted necessarily, but they still might be able to get the kill. Moving in with Tavo, not quite getting him. DY, time to taunt, trying to run. He does end up going down to the axes while Paparazzi kills off the tower.
So that's one hero who got his level 10 GPM online for Nyx Assassin. They only need Winter Wyvern to get his, and then they're gonna get items on their, I'm not gonna say support, but Nyx Assassin looks like a support this game.
He barely looks like a hero. We'll be going for that urn into the Spirit Vessel. And 14,000 net worth lead, 19 minutes in. Again, I think that they have some high ground defense. You know, Winter Wyvern, it's hard to walk into. Invoker never feels good to walk into. But it's not easy.
Yeah, the base defense is there, but also ViCi Gaming has a really good Roche lineup.
Stun.
They found Troll.
Catches him out. There's going to be the Winter's Curse, not keeping their buddy alive. A Sunstrike is there as well, as Tavo wants to find something in turn for losing their Troll Warlord, as he is going to fall, it looks like, most likely, maybe, yes. And it doesn't even look like they're going to end up getting the Lion Kill. They lose the Winter Wyvern. Tavo chasing, but it's all in vain, as he is going to go for the TP out. They do manage to get Tavo away, but the wheels are really falling off for paiN Gaming.
Yeah, once it hits 1,000 gold advantage per minute, you know the game is over.
It is feeling, and the other thing too is this is the type of lineup from ViCi Gaming that can just kind of keep it rolling with DK walking up front.
They might find Invoker. He just picked up the Bounty Rune. Dust ready on Phoenix. Meanwhile, the mid lane.
That Lina. So yeah, the runaway. I mean, they're just kind of throwing bodies at him now, you know? Uh-oh, there's Invoker. And Cold Snap, trying to run, trying to hide, but DK moves into position. Sunstrike on top of himself, not going to keep him alive. And as you said, Invoker done. There's going to be Winter Wyvern done. I don't even know anymore, man.
These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tips for V. This Phoenix is so... That's a position for Phoenix right there. He almost has Shiva's guard.
I mean, this is just... It feels like everybody's kind of off doing their own thing and trying to, you know, make whatever play they can possible. But the Troll Warlord is being dove into his tier 4 towers as they just are dismantling them, walking under these buildings. And there's nothing that paiN can do. With the Winter Wyvern dead and Invoker gone, like, ViCi don't care about anything.
They're trying to set up a good Winter Wyvern ulti. He popped the smoke.
All right, moving into position, looking for Yang. They find him. It is going to be a taunt onto 3. The Sunstrike follow-up, not going to be there. Yang time-lapses it off, and Misery now, with nothing else to his name, is just going to Cold Embrace. But it feels like it is all for naught. Jump forward, Ori. Just dismantling them as Weehaw going to be chased under tier 4 yet again. They buy back on 2, wanting to do whatever they can. The egg does go down, but it is kind of, well, maybe you can get them if they're a little bit too far out of position. No, Troll Warlord's dead. Tavo, no more stun left at all. The Light Strike Ray, Laguna Blade, is it going to be there? Ori does die. Still Paparazzi, though, the one that's walking for him. The disarm is a long duration onto 3. The stun is out from Lion. A double kill for Yang. And 3 more dead for another 50 seconds. This was buybacks expended. Weehaw looking for an answer. Can he find it? They try and take down Paparazzi. Is he going to die? Yes, indeedy duty. He ends up going down. So too will DY. And finally, ViCi have gone too far.
They were just playing way too aggressive. They wanted to finish the game. I think they're just clowning a little bit at this point, knowing how most of the Chinese teams play. They don't do stuff like this. They were diving tier 4 towers while tier 3 tower was there. So maybe just a response to Misery all chatting in the previous game.
It's a possibility.
Now Weaver has Aghanim Scepter. I love this kind of a build on Weavers in general. When you're playing the off lane, you don't necessarily need to be the damage dealer. You just want to keep your team alive.
Right. Well, and I don't know if, like, you know, the dive that happened there changes the complexion of the game. They would need to do that like 3 more times, right? And if they do it again with no buybacks, you're probably just going to end up losing the game regardless. So it needs to be a perfect fight from paiN Gaming. And we even saw like a 3-person, you know, Winter's Curse in the last fight, but it just didn't matter.
They can't connect the Sunstrike 2 or 3 times. They mistimed it. It was a secure kill. That's not an easy stuff to actually do.
Right.
So Lina is level 15, cast range plus Ether Lance and Tranquil Boots. So you can actually stun from Fog.
Speaking of stunning from Fog, Tavo gets caught in the pit. Spike Carapace comes out after the dust was there as well, but this is going to be a dead Nyx Assassin, and so too will we see King RD die. Yang wicked sick. This man plays some Dota, and he's freaking good at it. As Ori jumps forward, finds Misery, trying to stop the pressure that's going to come that they know is going to be there, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, I don't think. ViCi should have another blink in a second, although Misery...
Oh, Creep is going to find him.
They let him out. The punch comes from DY. Oh, man.
So Troll has a BKB.
Look at Paparazzi. This guy's crazy. Is he in trouble?
Are we talking about Invoker? Yes.
And the Doppelganger comes out again. Tavo finds the stun. Okay, maybe an opening. There's going to be the time lapse, and Paparazzi just comfortable walking away yet again. Does have Doppelganger back up if he needs to. They find the stun, they find the catch, they find the kill. A disarm onto PL yet again as ViCi stomping on the faces of paiN Gaming. There is not an answer for this pressure that's coming onto their heads.
They know Troll doesn't have a buyback since he bought the fresh BKB. Sunstrike nicely dodged.
Oh, he knew he was waiting for it the entire time, and Tavo gets blinked on by Ori. The punch is coming. They eventually find the kill. The Cold Embrace and Winter's Curse combo, not enough, as Weehaw going to be isolated and controlled. The Supernova on top of his face. The buyback just going to be stunned in just a second. So they do have that Cold Embrace coming out from the Winter Wyvern. More kills as ViCi diving fountain pretty much yet again. And good game eventually called. paiN, they just got demolished. This was complete destruction the entire time. So 25 minutes, 43-14, as ViCi Gaming will take the win, take the series 2-0. I mean, I don't think that I anticipated it being this one-sided. What about you?
I thought the paiN game, I gotta say, they don't look coordinated in team fights. What they need to do, maybe we can go back to the draft issue again. It's just ViCi Gaming's playing so well. I gotta give credit to Dragonite this game. He played amazing. The item build, Shadow Blade, first item, 12 minutes, and that's just insane. He stomped his lane, then went for a Blink Dagger, which actually paid off. He was so mobile, getting pickoffs, especially on the Winter Wyvern. That's the hero you want to kill before the team fight starts.
Totally. Well, ladies and gentlemen, BaseKip's prediction so far of ViCi going in top of the group is working out so far. It's only one game, though. We're going to see if they can continue the streak, as we do have a short little break before we get into our next series. Stay tuned. More from ESL One Hamburg right after this.